Okay. You guys always say when we're in costumes, so I like really will.
Yo.
How did you even make that?
I'll do it.
Like, what's that out of?
A big foam board, and I drew it and cut it. This is as creative. This is as creative as I get.
That is actually.
I'm not a real creative person.
That's pretty funny.
Nice. Funny. All right.
I hate you.
You can't take me seriously, can you? This will be really fun for the kids that are all at nationals. They're not going to see me. They're going to watch the video. Okay, so we're going to solve inequalities, quadratic and rational inequalities. Here are your steps to solve. You have to find the critical numbers. We're going to make intervals. Okay, since these are inequalities, we have to test everything on the whole number line. And then we're going to make them, and then we're going to test them. The ones that work are going to work. I am not going to make you do any number lines, so you're not graphing anything.
Yay.
And I'm actually going to let you leave everything in interval notation, so you don't even have to do anything in inequality notation. Makes your life a little bit easier. Okay, so to find critical numbers, you replace the inequality sign temporarily, replace it with an equal sign. And you solve. So how would I solve x squared equals 9? Okay, so you take the square root, and anytime you're solving, when you have square roots, you have plus or minus. So I have plus or minus 3. Okay, then I'm going to make intervals. Intervals always go from negative infinity to infinity, but the critical numbers are what break it apart. Here's where the difference between parentheses and brackets. If there's an equal to sign right here, then it's going to have brackets. But infinities never have brackets because they go on forever. So this would look like negative infinity is the smallest number possible. Okay, is 3 or negative 3 smaller? So then I would go to negative 3. That's my first interval. And negative 3 would have a bracket because this has an equal to sign. And then I pick up where I left off. So I left off at negative 3. And then I go to my next critical number, which is 3. And those both have brackets. And then I pick up at 3. Is there any other critical numbers? No, so then this one goes to infinity. So step 1, we found the critical numbers. Step 2, we made intervals. Okay, step 3 is you test to see which ones work. So you have to pick a number that fits inside there. Don't pick the boundary numbers. Pick a number that fits in there. So I need a number between negative infinity and negative 3. So I need a number less than negative 3.
Negative 4.
Negative 4 or negative 5 would work, either one. Negative 6, negative 7. You could pick negative 100 if you wanted to. And you're going to plug this into the original problem and see if it's true. So negative 4 squared is 16. Is 16 less than or equal to 9?
No.
No. So this interval does not work. Okay, so now I need to check the next one. I need a number between negative 3 and 3.
0.
Okay, so I'll take 0. 0 squared is 0, so is 0 less than or equal to 9?
Yes.
So this one works. Okay, I need a number between 3 and infinity, so a number bigger than 3.
4.
5. So 5 squared is 25. Is 25 less than or equal to 9? No. So that means my answer for this one is the interval negative 3 to 3. If you want to write it like an inequality, which this one would look like this, you can do that. I'm assuming most of you will leave it in interval notation. So that's how I'll do the other problems. Somebody look at the video and tell me if you can still see this problem.
Yeah, you can.
I can?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Everybody okay on the first one? So did my third period with that. It's not on video though. Always. Okay, so pretend like there's an equal sign. They asked me if they could first. I said, okay, I'll let you. Okay, how would I solve something like this? I need to get it set equal to what? 0. So I need to subtract 9. So then I have x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0. Okay, then I'm going to factor. If it doesn't factor, use quadratic formula. If it's a quadratic. This one is. So multiply to get -5, add to get 4.
5 and -1.
Thank you. So 5 and -1. So this factors into x plus 5, x minus 1. So if I set those equal to 0 and solve, what would my two critical numbers be?
-5 and 1.
Good. Okay, am I going to have brackets or parentheses when I do my numbers? Brackets. I'll have brackets on this one because the equal to sign. Okay, so I'm going to go -infinity to which number?
-5.
-5, good. Then I'm going to go from -5 to 1, and then 1 to
Infinity.
infinity. Okay. Okay, what number do you want to plug in for the first interval?
-6.
-6. So, this is really getting in my way. So negatives, I'm going to plug it into the top, the very original. So -6 squared is 36, minus 24, plus 4. I don't know if that's greater than or equal to 9. So is 16 greater than or equal to 9? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one works. Okay, what about for the next group?
0.
I use 0. So if I plug in 0, I get 4. Is 4 greater than or equal to 9?
No.
So this middle one doesn't work. Okay, what number do you want to use for the last one?
2.
2? Okay, so if I plug in 2, I have 4 plus 8 plus 4, which is what, 16? Is 16 greater than or equal? No, that is not supposed to be 16. That's supposed to be 9 over there, sorry. Is 16 greater than or equal to 9?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I have two answers on this one. I have from -infinity to -5 and 1 to infinity. So I have two of them. Okay, most of the time, I'm not going to say this all the time, most of the time every other one works. If they all work, your answer would be all reals. If none of them work, your answer would be no solution. Most of the time, it's every other one. Okay. Is everybody good on number 2? Yeah, so you ready for number 3?
Yep.
Okay, does this factor? Anything multiply to give you -5 and add to give you 8? No. So what do you think we're going to have to do? You got it. Quadratic formula. So this would be -8 plus or minus the square root of 8 squared minus 4 times 1 times -5 all over 2 times 1. So inside the square root I'd have 64 plus 20, so that's 84. Okay, now we're not going to figure out what this is as a decimal, but we want to simplify as far as it'll go, so we need to do a factor tree. So 84, 4 and 21. 21 is 3 and 7, 4 is 2 and 2. So I would have -8 plus or minus, I have a pair of 2's. 3 and 7 are left over, so plus or minus 21 over 2. And then 2 goes into all of those, so I have -4 plus or minus the square root of 21. Okay, now, in order to solve this all the way out, you're gonna have to know what those are, like what these answers are, but you're not gonna write them in your intervals as decimals. But I need to know that, because in order to plug numbers in, you need to know what these are approximately equal to. So -4 plus the square root of 21 is approximately 0.58. And -4 minus the square root of 21 is approximately -8.58. So which one would be smaller? Adding or subtracting? Which one's smaller, 0.58 or -8.58? Okay, so the subtracting one. So I would go from -infinity to -4 minus square root of 21. Why am I going to use parentheses? Because there's no equal to sign. So since there's no equal to sign, it means you're going to use parentheses. So then I go from -4 minus the square root of 21 to -4 plus the square root of 21. Lexi, is this still on there?
Yeah.
Can I go further or no?
You can go to like where your hand is right now.
Right here?
Yeah.
So we can go from -4 plus square root of 21 to infinity. Sorry. Okay, so if I know that -4 minus the square root of 21 is approximately -8.58, then I need to plug something in smaller than that, so I'm going to plug in -10. So if I plug in -10, this will give me 100 minus 80 minus 5, and I want to know if that's greater than 0, sorry, so equal to sign. So this would be 15. Is 15 greater than 0? Yes. Okay, what's the number between -8.58 and 0.58?
0.
0, good. So if I put in 0, this gives me -5. Is -5 greater than 0? No. And then if I pick a number bigger than 0.58,
1.
1, okay? So if I put in 1, this would be 1 plus 8 minus 5, so it would be 4. Is 4 greater than 0? Yes. So I have 2 answers. I know this is getting kind of low, but... Okay, so this will get you all the way through the first part of 204, so the 10 through 22 even. Those are all your factoring, or if it doesn't factor, it's quadratic formula.